Hello and welcome to Coffee with Carey. Thank you for being here. Wow, it has been a minute, as they say. It's been a long time since I've added to this playlist of conversation starters. And I wanted to do that today because I had a little thought the other day and I thought I gave it to one of my clients and I thought, hey, got to share it with the rest of my friends who are dating as well. So today we are going to talk and add to our list a couple new conversation starters, things that you can say out and about when you're on a first date, things that you can say to jumpstart a conversation on a first date or during that video call that you're having even prior to going across town to meet your date for a cup of something, a glass of something. A couple good questions. They're kind of all in the same category. And, well, let's just talk about that. That's what we're talking about. Stick around. I hope you will. So I guess what I wanted to say first, and I stopped myself to just get into this, is that I don't love people going into great detail. I just don't feel that most people early on in a relationship, and for some people maybe never, want to hear tons of details about your job unless they continue to ask and seem super interested you do something that's right up their alley or something they've always wanted to know more about or thought about doing. But if they're not invested in you, they're probably not invested in hearing about your job. I remember with my husband, I would always say to him when he'd come home from work, give me the highlight and the low light. I wanted the best thing that happened and the worst thing. Wanted to be there to support my partner, but I didn't want to hear all the middle stuff about the job. There's nothing I can do in that area to encourage or to lift somebody up or to commiserate or be a good listener. So for a lot of people, we want to hear the highs and the lows of your job, even in a relationship. Early on, do not share so much detail about your job. However, I have a couple questions, conversation starters that would be, well, you'll see. You'll see why I think these would be the way to talk about the person's job. And then, of course, share your answers with them if it makes sense in the conversation. Number one would be, have any of your jobs been related to what you studied or majored in college? Because I think it's so funny when I talk to people and screen them, new clients or people to match with my clients, or a coaching client, and I ask what they do, and it's an interesting job or something, and sometimes I'll say, what did you major in school? And it's completely unrelated. I'm always curious how people got into their job. So I think a good conversation starter would be, was this part of the plan? And then you can obviously find out how this career did come into their path and become something that they hopefully wanted to do. I think it's super interesting so often the jobs that people have that I didn't even know existed. It's like, where was the list with that job on it when I was 18 and trying to figure out what I wanted to do, right? Most kids going off to college or a tech school have no idea what the possibilities are. They say that they know what their dad does, their grandfather, their uncle, and their best friend's father. But there's so many, tons of jobs out there that aren't on that list of service job, sales job, teacher, medical, law, business. They just don't even know they're out there. So people find these interesting jobs a little bit later on in their journey, and I think it's super interesting. So I think that'd be a good first question, conversation starter. And related to that would be, did you always want to do what you're doing now? Was this something that you knew existed, and even though you may not have studied it for college, was it somewhere in the back of your mind? Or it's just a part B to that first question. And then my third conversation starter, completely unrelated to the job situation or their career or how they got there, what their plan was, would be to ask them what they did. And I ask this in screening all the time. I'm like, what did you do on Sunday or Saturday? I pick one of the days of the weekend typically. I think oftentimes you'll get more chores on a Sunday, so probably better off to hear what they did on a Saturday. And it's interesting. Some people have a lot that they squeeze into their day. Don't you want to know if this person spent the whole day catching up on reality TV or if they met with a bunch of friends? I've had somebody who met friends for breakfast, then did some errands, went to see some show, met friends for lunch, was out for dinner. Super social life. And I said, is that your typical Saturday? He said, yeah, I'm pretty social on the weekends. Would I want to be with somebody who's dragging me around just all these things? How are we going to incorporate the things I like to do in that busy schedule? So interesting to know. Good to know, I think, how this person typically chooses to spend their free time. Hope you found that helpful, interesting, that you can use these in your dating life. And there are others available as well. It's in a playlist called Conversation Starters, and I will link to it right here for you if you want to see what some of the others are. I appreciate you stopping by today, and I look forward to next time. And until then, have a good one. There's a ladybug in my light. Okay, this is the wrong time of year. It is the middle of December, right? Wow, ladybug. So early on, this is why you need a good powder brush from e.l.f.